I did exactly what I said I was gonna do. I did exactly what I said I was gonna do. Hey y'all, welcome back. I know a couple of y'all been asking me to post some more Navy military content, so I'm gonna start trying to do that. I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't guarantee anything. I don't know, I just feel like I don't have enough to say. So yeah, I gotta start recording videos in real time. So this is me recording a video in real time, but by the time you see it, it's gonna be old time. But I'm gonna give you tips and tricks to pass the Navy-wide advancement exam. Okay. So I just want to show you guys a date. I took my exam today. So here's the date. See that? This is Thursday, March 19th. I took my exam today. And I'm gonna tell you how I passed in the 99th percentile. I'm very, very hungry. About to go into an appointment, so I'm gonna be eating. I don't eat McDonald's like in the States, but I do eat McDonald's outside of the US. And I include Hawaii as outside the US. So I'm gonna eat my McDonald's here because I feel like it's like real food. Anyway, first thing, the average time it takes for somebody to make E4 is 30 months. That's 2.5 years in the Navy before you can make E4. All right. Then depending on when you make E4, you can qualify to take the E5 exam either in March or September. Stay with me. I got E4 early because I was honor grad at my A school, and I can make another video about that. But I'm an E4. I graduated boot camp May 8th. And as you know, graduated boot camp May 8th, 2025. And it is Thursday, March 19th, 2026. So it's been less than a year since I graduated boot camp, and I am E4. And I took the E5 exam today. So the first thing to do, so they come out with bibs. And if you don't know what a bib is, you're probably watching this video way too early. But the bib is short for bibliographies, is basically references that the Navy gives you for your job and like what that you're possibly going to see on the exam. Let me pull it up. So first, there are topics and subtopics for the exam. So the exam gives you some topics and some subtopics of what's going to be on the exam. What I did was I first took the topics and subtopics, took the references, and I put the topics and subtopics under the reference that it's applicable to. So there's, let's just say, 25 topics and subtopics and 15 references. If one topic is Navy uniform standards, and then the reference says Navy Uniform Standards Guidebook, I would put that under there. So on a Word document, I put the reference and all the topics and subtopics that go under that reference. Boom. So now you have a sheet that shows every topic and subtopic and the reference that it goes with. And then you make dates on them. You want to make dates on when you're going to study. So look at your bibs as soon as it comes out for the exam, which comes out months before you actually take the exam. And then create a schedule. So one weekend you can study this reference and all its topics and subtopics. Then you're going to study this reference and all its topics and subtopics the next weekend. Make a schedule. That's just what I did. And this is my little table of contents, and these are my page numbers. I actually made page numbers at the bottom of my notebook, and here are my notes. So now I can go, oh, I want to look at this. Page 4. Go to page 4. After you've put together your topics and subtopics, after you made a schedule of a day, this Saturday, this Sunday, on what you're going to study on each day, study and follow that plan. Once you're done studying Hello. You too, thank you. I forgot where I was at. But after you made a study plan with the dates, and you go through your bibs, go through your references, make notes on each of those topics. This is what you're studying. Read every single page. It's gonna sound exhausting. Read every single page of your bibs. Of course, there's gonna be pages that you can skip, like, oh, this document was edited by so-and-so chief, this and like that. You can, go past those pages that talk about the author and the index. Maybe you could skip the dictionary that goes over specific terms because you would have already read it in the text. Yeah. Make a study guide. Your own study guide. I know some people, they swear down on using I think it's Blue Jacket, whatever, and they pay the money. You paying the money for your best study guide is gonna be you. Study your bibs, all right? And just like any test, you can study all you want, but there's still gonna be things that you don't know, because obviously the references could be big. The references could be in a manual that's 100 and something pages. The question could come from page 1, it could come from page 2, it could come from page 120. Like, it could be anything in there. So it's not a foolproof plan, but studying and knowing the reference will give you an understanding of the topic, so that if you do see a question, you'll be like, oh, I don't know the answer to this, but I know that it's not this answer because I remember reading in chapter 2 this and like that. And then you can probably process of elimination, cross them out. Use process of elimination when you can. Obviously, if you know an answer for sure, circle that in automatically. If you don't know an answer for sure, try to at least mark out 2 of the answers. That way you give yourself a 50-50 chance, hypothetically. Mark out 2 of the answers. You're like, it's not that, it's not that. If you just don't know, skip it for now. You want to get out all the answers you actually know, like front to back, and then go back to those ones that you don't know. All right?
So just to reiterate, since this is a time test, you want to make your best attempt to answer every single question. You do not want to spend a long time on one question. The questions that you know, answer them immediately. The ones that you're unsure about, cross out at least 2 and give yourself 50-50 chance and either guess right there or skip and come back to it. The answer might come back to you when you look at it a second time. The ones you absolutely don't know, skip it. Finish your workbook front to back, then go back to those questions that you were unsure of.
You want to have a complete booklet, like you want to answer every single question. There's more than enough time. Only because if you do what I said, you'll be fine. But if you dwell on a question like, oh, I can't remember this, I wish it was this, and you're spending like 7 minutes on a question, you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot. Yeah, it's better you go through the whole booklet and then answer the questions that you do know, or make an educated guess on the questions that you weren't sure about, than to be stuck on that one question. And I know there's gonna be some people out there that be like, no, duh, obviously, and like be like, oh, you're not dropping real gems. Listen. First, in my life, well, I don't know who's from Florida, but if you see this and you around my age, you had the FCAT, and then it's a standardized test that you have to take at the end of the year in reading, math, science, in either social studies or writing, something like that. You have to pass it to be able to go to the next grade. So I've been taking standardized tests all my life. And then there's like the SAT and the ACT, right? ASVAB, you can count that too. I've always been above average on all of those all those tests. Always been above average. And that's not to be boastful, but it's just to show that my study tactics and how I answer questions work. So somebody's probably gonna be under here and be like, oh, this is obvious, this is common sense. Some people don't have that. Some people don't know how to study well. Some people don't do process of elimination. They see a question they don't know and they just automatically select any answer. Oh, I'm just select B for this. No, you should go and take out two answers at least that you think are absolutely not correct, if possible. Process of elimination has definitely got me correct answers before. So before y'all come on here trying to be smart and bringing people down for not being good at studying, there are people out there who do not pass the ASVAB. There are people out there who don't pass standardized tests. There are people who are not good test takers, and these tips are what's going to help you. Oh, once you've done going through all your references and you got your study notebook that you've accumulated over these weeks, things that you studied, mind you, you did this one weekend, the next weekend, the next weekend, the next weekend, this day, whatever day, you finally went through all of your references, every single bib, every single topic, you finally went through it. Now, depending on the time frame, you should be in within a month to your exam. You should be a month out from your exam. Now, study only your study guide. Only study your study guide. Now, there are people out there who's not going to be good note takers, but for every, like we were in elementary school, you'd have to find the main idea of the main idea and like a supporting sentence. So for example, all right, main idea. So for the topic is directives, processing, and procedures. Main idea. There are 5 categories of directives. Directives, processing, and procedures is the topic. The main idea of the reference is there are 5 directive types. Boom. One is instructions. And then supporting sentence. Instructions establish policy or order specific action. Boom. Boom. The second type of directive, a manual. It has the same authority as instructions, but are categorized into parts and sections. Boom. Don't hit my car. I didn't go above like one sentence. That's really all you need. One sentence. You want to get the main idea of that topic. So if you read a whole page, you should at least have 4 sentences of what the main idea is. I studied only my notebook. And I know you're going to be tempted. And I'm not saying don't buy these programs. I'm not saying don't buy study guides. I'm not saying that. But I think a lot of people psych themselves out because they overstudy. That's the thing. When you try to get everything, your mind begins to be overloaded. Well, at least that's what it is for me. When I try to grab everything, I start to confuse things. I'm like, what was this again? What was that again? This was that. No, this was that. No, this was that. And I start to get confused. That's why I only studied my notes. I didn't buy anything outside. I didn't subscribe to anything outside. I only studied my notes because I read the information. I know what's best. I know what's in there because I read it. If you read your bibs, you're going to be able to know what is important. And also with references, a lot of times they will give you like, when you open up the manual, the instruction, the book, whatever it is, before it even starts, it'll tell you like the main idea or what's the main point and where you can find main points. Read those things. Save them in your notebook, then only study your notebook when you're a month out from the test. Even when the test comes, there's something that you don't know on there. At least you'll be like, oh, I studied this. I kind of remember this, but I'm not sure. All of it's going to be familiar to you if you study references. If you start studying things from different sources, I don't know. It's up to you. But I trust myself before I trust to pay for any software. They tell you what to study. They give it to you for free. For real, I get a lot of brain farts. And the reason I make videos often is because I just never know what to put out. Comment and tell me what y'all want to see. Ask me questions so I can make a video on your question. Please help me out. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I did exactly what I said I Y'all don't understand how much, let me turn this AC off. Y'all don't understand how much power you have. Y'all don't understand how you can change the trajectory of your life by just thinking and speaking positive over yourself. I said this. The results are out. I was right. I'm telling y'all. Thank you.